Que lo que mi gente, what's good, what's good? Come on in, come on in. I want to thank you guys for always watching our show, our podcast, always being there with us. Forgive us this weekend for not being out there available. We have Mother's Day, as you know. Fam is always first. Couldn't get one in time on Friday. Had a lot going on with my family. You can say I'm looking crazy, but I don't care. I give y'all content as we do. New Knicks is always ready, so salute to New Knicks and Machete for being ready. They just couldn't. We couldn't just make it work. Nonetheless, we are back. We are talking about Game Four of the New York Knickerbockers Indiana Pacers game. It was an away game for the New York Knickerbockers. We were up 2-0 in the series going into Indiana. Indiana won the first one. Could have been a controversial game. We were up 9 points in the third game. A lot of stuff going on. We don't blame anything, refs or anything, even though we know it's been a suspect. But can't blame anybody. You got to just show up to work, bring your lunch pail, and get it done. Um, Now this game four was something else. They came out. We have no OG. With OG, we already know the numbers that we're way more than less. I think 25-6 with OG playing. He's obviously hurt. He's probably not going to come back in this series. Tibbs was trying to make an adjustment on there to focus on rebounds, which whoever wins the rebound wins the game for the most part. That's a higher percentage or more. He started Precious Achua at power forward, where to see if that defense can go, but he is not a runner or a sprinter. So you can see they took off ready and willing. They were running. We didn't match their intensity, which is understandable. Everybody's talking about the minutes that these guys played, and is that breaking down? It's not that breaking down, but they've played a lot of minutes. They're playing a lot of minutes, and because of those minutes, it's hard to accelerate more than you're already doing while you're missing shots, and then to play catch up against Indiana, and then to try to match that intensity and make a run after they made a big run on you. Could have been some timeouts called. I know some people are thinking about that. Some timeouts could have been called, but nonetheless, he could have called it earlier. But I think he was trying to see if there was any fight back in the team as we were missing shots to see if we could make that run back on our own. I don't think that was going to happen. It was way too much. You're not going to win the game. And if you've seen games that we've got blown out, from last year when we played against the Miami Heat, uh, Brunson has had a terrible game. It happens. But he was 0 for 7 in that Miami series last night. He was 0 for 5 in the Indiana series. So games like that, we're never going to win if he's not the best player on the court, which is a lot of ask for him. He's been the best player on the court, but there's other people wearing the uniform that have to step up. Burks, salute to Burks. We've been talking about Alec Burks, and he stepped up in the game. He stepped up the last two games he's playing. He's showing that he's ready, which is a good thing. So we can count on him. Bojan's out, so he's our next man up to give those minutes. Hopefully, we can somehow get him in early in the game, and give some breathers to the other players. They sat and only played for the most part Josh 20 minutes. Devo played 30. Probably a little too much for him. At that point, if it was a blowout, I would have taken him out. Um, Maybe look at Obi's brother, give him some burn time there, see what we can look at there, but he's not going to play. He put Charlie Brown in there because he's a shooter. He's a better shooter than all of them, from the bench at least. So, water's under the bridge. It's an even series now. It's the best of three. Who wins? Each team has one home court. We got home next at the Garden. We're looking to play. Deuce started getting warmed up at the end. He was a little bit cold to start on there. Um, I think we need to go with the bodies we have. We're gonna have to go small ball, which that's been a so I think small ball early to run, contain, and defend, and then hopefully Mitchell Robinson. I'm sorry. Oof, salute to Mitchell Robinson. It was in the brain. iHeart can dominate as a center, which he's been doing good. He's been containing, uh, their center Miles. So we'll see how they do it. Miles Turner. See how he does with that. But we're gonna have to go with the Oompa Loompas. We're gonna have to get Jalen Brunson as the starter, Dante defense, Chenzo, Miles, Deuce McBride, and then Josh Hart, and then iHeart. So I think that's going to be the adjustment that we're going to have to run for a while. You can play Deuce 40 minutes. He's played 40 minutes before. On those games that he's played 40, we've won. And then you bring Precious off the bench with him and Burks. So when Burks misses, he can get the rebound. He can play, the iHeart position and then go after the rebounds, blocks, and put more pressure. He's good. I mean, if you look at the numbers, Pascal only had 14. Even Halliburton had, I think, 20, 20 and 6. And, on a terrible night, you had Jalen Brunson with 18 and 6. So at least he was trying to facilitate. When, they got a W, you expect the team to fight back, especially with us being depleted. We don't make excuses. We're Knickerbockers. We don't make excuses. We just get out there. If you're wearing that uniform, you're there to perform. So Deuce has always been someone who's been in the positive. When it wasn't OG, we won plenty of times without OG being in the lineup. He's missed a lot. And during those times, you always saw Deuce got heavy minutes. Deuce plays very well with off ball with Jalen Brunson. So does Dante. So I think they're going to look up to free and help and slash and cut and defend and put pressure on other players. So it's going to have to be Deuce McBride. You're going to be looking at that next game. Deuce is probably going to be starting. He's another person who can push off the ball. You could look at Dante and him running off screens. Deuce just has, which he was aggressive. He shot, I think it was 3 of 13 or 3 of 11 from the 3 point line. He made two in the fourth, one early. He was off early, so I think giving him burn time more than 20 minutes is going to be a positive for us. So that's what I'm looking for the change or the difference. Burks is going to be a regular at least in this series, and then where you bring in Precious. Is there other players that we can play? I'm not sure. I don't know if there's any other players. We saw a Sim sighting on there. Um, if you see Sims, it's still possible if you bring him off the bench. Sims, and then you have Precious. I think that's going to help to keep the bench from running and gunning. You'll have Sims to get rebounds and defense to help out Precious. So that second unit defensively would be pretty good. So I think it'll be Sims, Precious, Burks from the bench. That way it'll give iHeart a breather. Um, Rest up iHeart a little bit, but iHeart's probably going to have to play some heavy minutes. He gets charged up in at home games, so I'm looking for a bounce back game. Josh was 1 of 6. He wasn't driving. He wasn't aggressive. Could he have been tired? It's possible. We can guess and speculate all we want, but 1 of 6 was not great. DiVincenzo was 1 of 7, I think, from 3, or 1 of 6, and so that could be tired legs. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Could be tired legs. A lot of people like we need to rest them. There's nobody that can pick up for them. We have nobody. We have a depleted team. Uh, at this stage in the playoffs, you're talking about 12 wins, get you a championship. So either you play, or the whole 82 games that you just played came for nothing. So we got people with heart who are ready to play, who are ready to bring that energy. So I'm looking for a big bounce back game. I'm not gonna be too high, too low. It's just you win some, you lose some. The ones that we have lost have always been close. No, none of the series and all of these players we're watching for have given any effort to the point of the New York Knickerbockers depleted, and we're giving 120% till the last quarter. Every game that we've won has been a hard fought fourth quarter, 5 minute game, all the way down to the buzzer. That's very draining. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of focus, and they're quite frankly just burnt out mentally. I think it's mentally more than physically. It takes a lot to bring that type of energy, to bring that type of focus, to bring that type of intensity, and then to be able to execute at the same time. Plus, play heavy minutes. So that's what a lot of people aren't thinking about, but it takes a lot for that. And I just think they were at a point that they were, and by they I mean the Villanova Knicks, that they needed a spark from somebody. Burks was doing his thing. The fact that Deuce started missing, Precious wasn't hitting. They needed somebody else to step up and get big and energize them. If you don't have that person or that spark plug from the bench, especially on an away game, on the crowd is not with you, you need someone that's going to bring that energy or can bring it. You know what I mean? That hey, all right, these guys ain't taking over. I'm gonna do it. It was supposed to be Deuce. He was off. He did drive. He did okay. He did okay. So it's gonna have to be Deuce, and then Precious plays at a different pace that he wasn't matching the intensity for Indiana. Indiana's young, running, hungry. Um, Precious is more of a half court, which is our team, half court team, but we need people that are going to run and gun and match that intensity. And that whole team was ready to win. They were ready from the beginning of the game. So it is what it is. It's a tough loss, but I think you saw Tibbs tinkering towards the end, seeing who he can play, and who's going to step up, who's going to play good in the fourth quarter. I think you saw Deuce step up, hit the two big shots. Deuce has been ready for the moment, so I think Deuce is the guy. We're going to be looking next game. You should see a small man. He's probably going to play 40 minutes of Deuce because that's going to be winning. Deuce is a mini OG. He can affect the game like how OG does. He gave Precious a shot, so you can't say he didn't give. He let Precious see if Precious can do it. Precious with OG is really good. Precious by himself to bring him that intensity, diving. He can do it, but he wasn't able to match it, and us missing shots was too much for him to bring that energy in. So a lot to say here, just to say that they got that one. You got that. No fights, no worries. It is what it is, and we're gonna make adjustments the next game. This is who we have, and I think going forward, you're gonna see a lot of Deuce, and that's gonna get us to win this series. And then whatever happens the next series, we hope OG will be ready for the next series. He hasn't done any running, only pool work. I don't look for him to be at all in this series. Maybe a game seven if it gets to that. Maybe he's ready for a game seven if it's going to be the ending of the season and we're tied. I could see an OG sighting, but I don't think they want to risk any future tears or anything like that you know, for a game. As much as we would like it, I don't think so, but that gives us an option to understand what's going to be coming forward. And all that to say is let's go Knicks. Don't be too down. Get your head up. It's only a game, bro. Relax. We got this. We didn't expect it to be a cakewalk. We're missing a lot of players. It's a tough series. It's a tough series. It wasn't going to be anything easy for us. So the fact that we've made it, I think we're just spoiled and not seeing the true effort and energy it takes for us to compete at this level. So salute to the Knicks. Salute to them being ready. Salute to them playing hard. We're not going to turn on you because you had a bad game. At least the organic ones aren't. You may have some already looking for your replacement. I understand. You guys are going to do well. New York Knickerbockers going to have this. We're going to bring that energy back, that intensity. They're probably going to be traveling today. They're going to get some rest. I think our next game is Tuesday tomorrow. So let's go Knicks. Head up. Let's be ready. Stay focused. And look for Deuce. Deuce is going to be my guy. I'm calling out to get maybe 40 minutes. He's probably going to be playing heavy next game for sure. So, you heard? Let's bring this back. Don't fall back.